The president now holding off on any action to fix the immigration crisis until after the November elections. So he hopes the Democrats control the Senate once again. And he seems to be blaming now the problem on illegal immigrant children.
This problem with unaccompanied children that we saw a couple of weeks ago, where you had from Central America a surge of kids who were showing up at the border, it got a lot of attention. And a lot of Americans started thinking, we've got this immigration crisis on our hands. Now, the fact of the matter is that the number of people apprehended crossing our borders has plummeted over the course of the decade. It's far lower than it was 10 years ago.
But isn't this really more about political timing? Joining us right now is the spokesperson for the Libre Initiative, Rachel Campos. Duffy joins us from Minneapolis. Good morning to you, Rachel.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me on today.
You bet. So there's the president blaming the children. But really what he should be doing, when you know what the backstory is through one of his executive actions, he essentially got the ball rolling where people thought, okay, if my kids get there, they'll be American. So that's why they started pushing their kids toward the southern border.
Exactly. I mean, it really is a new low. You guys mentioned before how he used to blame George Bush for everything. Now he's blaming the innocent victims of his policy, right? The DACA policy. And by the way, these are the same kids he refused to visit. He didn't even have the heart to visit them at the border. So absolutely, this is a crisis that he created. But what ended up happening is it exposed, really, for anyone who had any doubts that the border wasn't secure, they saw that when all these Central American children were able to make it over. And now we have the crisis in the Middle East and threats to the homeland from ISIS. And so his idea of immigration reform, which was legalization, citizenship first, and border security later, really isn't that appealing to Americans anymore. I think they really want border security first. And then I think it's really clear that the most powerful members of Congress, both in the Senate and in the House of Representatives, want to find a compromise. But I think for him, the immigration issue is always about politics and not really about finding solutions or helping Hispanics. And that's why we don't have a solution.
Right. And if he does this by executive fiat, it's just going to further polarize. The right is going to be angry. The left is going to be angry. Actually, the left is angry right now. While he says it's just the problem with the kids coming, it's a political calculation on the side of the president.
Yes, it's always a political calculation with him, and it will, doing an executive action will make things worse, especially when we know there's a solution that everyone can agree on.
Absolutely. Exactly. Rachel Campos Duffy joining us today from Minneapolis to talk about this important issue. Rachel, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
You bet.